privilege of introducing our keynote speaker this afternoon. I get to introduce McCrae Parker. The kind of resume version is that he's the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Youth Radio. He has 15 years of experience in the fields of youth policy, workforce development, education, and media policy. Prior to his work with Youth Radio, he was a consultant for a number of media education and community-based organizations, including Children Now, where he was the principal author of Fall Colors, a comprehensive examination of how race, gender, and class are portrayed in primetime television. At Children Now, he also authored reports on local news coverage of youth and youth policy issues and race and gender in video games. McCrae's developed policy recommendations regarding public interest obligations of commercial broadcasters to children. His professional interests include developing cross-cutting program models in converged media production, social communications, education, community building, and workforce development. But one of the things that we discovered serving on the board with McCrae was that he has a terrific sense of humor, and he's a really wonderful storyteller. And we wanted to share him with you, so we asked him if he would keynote this year. So it is my great delight to introduce to you McCrae Parker.
Good afternoon. I'm McCrae Parker. They get better as we go on. First, I just want to say, is this thing on? First, I want to say that I just want to thank the board and the conference committee for allowing me to speak with folks today. I really consider this to be a great honor to be able to get up here and present to you some of my insights and experience and some of the things that I am truly excited about in the field of media literacy, particularly as it pertains to young people. We'll talk a little bit about that. I think that to be here in front of you all, a community of folks that are concerned about the same kinds of things that I'm concerned about, and that is sort of like the well-being of young people, the ability of them to pursue their education, career, and aspirational goals, and that media literacy is a cornerstone of that strength is wonderful. So there are a lot of folks out there, and so I'm kind of like a community person. I'd like to know who's out there. And this presentation is about intersections. And one of the things that we'll be looking at in terms of intersections is the intersection of technology to help build community. In a moment here, I'm going to introduce a colleague of mine, David Camp, who uses technology in a very interesting way to build community. But first, I want to ask you, on your tables, there are bags. Some of those bags are green, some are pink, some are red, some have flowers. Look at the flower. Reach inside of those bags, and what you'll find are a set of cards. If each person can take one of those cards out and pass it along to next in line. And I'll pass it over to Dave Camp to give you instructions about how you're going to use the cards. I imagine some folks probably have used these.
Good afternoon, family. My name is David Camp. And what we want to do at the beginning of this is to find out who's in the room. It's always useful to know who's here, who's not here, a little bit about ourselves. So I would encourage people to just actually hand out make sure everybody has a keypad. And we're just going to ask a few questions to find out who is here. Okay, basically, I'm going to ask you a question. The answers will be here. I'll also read them. Just press the number corresponding to your choice. There's no need to press go. In fact, please don't press go. If you make a mistake, just enter the choice you want. You can vote as many times as you like, but unlike Chicago, only your last vote counts. And these things, They don't work in your room or at home, so please help us get back in the bag at the end. Okay, how long have you been working in the media literacy field? If you're a newbie, 1 to 3 years, press 1. If you've been around 4 to 7 years, press 2. If you're a veteran, 8 to 15 years, press 3. If you're a wisdom keeper, more than 15 years, press 4. And if you don't consider yourself working in the field, but you're really happy to be here, then press 5.
How do we know if we pressed it hard enough?
What's that?
How do we know if we pressed it hard enough? Or multiple times, or we're just going to
Should be. This thing has these things have a 99% working history, but there always is that 1% possibility. It's not blinking right. Okay. Well, this is one of those odd times. I think we're at the 1% time. All right. So. Yeah, I don't think it's. I think we're getting connectivity. Yeah, I don't think we're getting connectivity. All right. Well, this is explaining to you that technology can really be valuable, and it's important to have content that is not dependent on technology as much. So I'm going to disconnect this. And to give you back to McCrae, we may be able to do this at the end or not. But I'm just connected. We seem to be having a technical problem that I cannot explain. So I'm going to reconnect McCrae. I apologize for that. Like I said, this thing has 99% working capacity, but maybe there's just too much good energy in this room for the computer to stand. So you're going to go to McCrae.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. We're going to come back around to that. Okay, well, let's move on. As noted, I'm currently the director of strategic initiatives at Youth Radio. How many folks have heard of Youth Radio? Heard us on the radio? Seen us on the web? Thank you. We are headquartered in Oakland, California. We are a national program in that we maintain bureaus across the country, namely in Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta. We also work with what we call our national network, which are young people who are stretched out from coast to coast, Appalachia, all the way up into Alaska, where we work with native youth there to generate content that goes out into our outlets. So I've been what I call a community practitioner for about 15 years. Someone who utilizes media literacy to engage young people with each other, with their families, with their communities, and with their futures. And I've witnessed how media and news literacy can be a cornerstone in the development of those youth, that it is part of a critical path for them to pursue education, career, and aspirational goals. And this has been especially significant to me in my work, because for most of those 17 years, I've done that work with under-resourced youth, and with youth in communities of color, and with new Americans, communities of new Americans. And we know these youth, right? These are youth who are unseen and unheard, but who have gifts. These are young people who are suffering through trauma or post-traumatic trauma, right? And these are young people who remain resilient, even in the face of diminishing opportunity.